So today we are solving quadratics by using the quadratic formula. And so a lot of you could probably figure this out just by looking at the formula, but we'll go over it anyways. When to use it is if you can't factor the equation and if you don't have a graphing calculator handy. Requirements: it must be a quadratic equation. And also it's easier if you put it in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. There's the formula: x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c, all of it divided by 2 times a. And there's a little song that helps you remember. And I will sing it for you. I always sing it to my classes. I'm not a great singer, so here goes. X equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So hopefully you like that. So the steps we have to do: identify a, b, and c, substitute into the quadratic formula, and then we simplify. And if you see the plus or minus, so we're creating two different equations, and we find our solutions. So we have first one, x squared plus 5x plus 6. A is 1, b is 5, and c is 6. So let's plug them in. So x equals opposite of b. The opposite of b is negative 5. Plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2 times a. So let's simplify. So we have negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 25 minus 4 times 6, which is 24, all over 2. So this becomes negative 5 plus or minus, what is the square root of 1? That's 1. All of it divided by 2. So I'm going to set up my two equations. Negative 5 plus 1 over 2 is x, and x equals negative 5 minus 1 over 2. So this is going to be negative 4 plus over 2, so I have negative 2, and I have negative 3 as my two possible solutions. Now, for the next one, a is 1, b is 1, c is negative 4. So let's plug this one in. X equals opposite of b, negative 1, plus or minus the square root of b squared, 1 squared, minus 4 times a times c. c is negative 4. All over 2 times a. So that gives us negative 1 plus or minus square root of 1. And then we have minus 4 times 1 times minus 4 is plus 16. All of it divided by 2. So x equals negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 17, all of it divided by 2. And there's nothing else we can do because 17 has no factors, and so we can't pull anything out, and it's not a perfect square. And then finally, with number 3, we have what? A is 6, B is 11, and C is negative 35. So x equals opposite of b, negative 11, plus or minus the square root of b squared, 11 squared, minus 4 times 6 times 35. All of it divided by 2 times 6. All right, so negative 11 plus or minus 11 squared is 121. And then we have 4 times 6 times 35. So I'll probably do 35 times 4, that's 140. 140 times 6 is 600 plus 240 is 840. And then it's all divided by 12. So I get negative 11 plus or minus the square root of 961 divided by 12. Now, 961, you might not think it, but it is a perfect square. The square root of 961 is 31 if I remember right, but let me double check. Yeah, 31. So it's negative 11 plus or minus 31 all over 12. So my two possible solutions are x is negative 11 plus 31 over 12, or x is negative 11 minus 31 over 12. So that gives me 20 over 12, which reduces down to 5/3. And over here I have negative 42 over 12, which reduces down to 14 over 4, 7 over 2, no. It reduces down to negative 7 over 2. So those are my two solutions. And that's it. That is the quadratic formula.